All right, so Steve has spoken. All right, let's move on to the next part of our program here, which are one-on-ones with our guest speakers tonight. I'd like to call on Suzanne Havrilla. She is board certified in geriatric physical therapy and is the director of home support, the private duty division for the Johns Hopkins home-based division. Suzanne is a geriatric clinical specialist certified by the American Board of Physical Therapy Specialists. She has over 25 years of experience treating geriatric patients in their homes. She also manages the rehabilitation services for adult home health patients and oversees memory care services in the private duty division. Fun fact about Suzanne, and I hope she doesn't mind sharing this with you, she was a Girl Scout back in the day, and their motto, of course, is be prepared, which I'm sure she is for our interview tonight. So welcome, Suzanne. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. It's lovely to be here and be with you tonight. Grateful is a state that we should all aspire to. I've been taking yoga for 25 years, and my favorite yoga instructor says something I wanted to share. We get good at what we practice. So I think this theme tonight is perfect for that. We should practice gratitude.
And also, perfect practice makes perfect. So that's also another important one. The reason, Suzanne, that I bring up the Girl Scout part of your history is because you told me, we had a chance to talk a couple weeks ago, that you volunteered at a nursing home when you were a Girl Scout, which kind of set you on your professional course.
That's right. My mom reminded me, my mom had her 90th birthday back in January, and she reminded me, someone asked her, how did you get in, asked me in her presence, how did you get interested in physical therapy? And I said, I think it was, and my mom said, wait a minute, I know exactly what it was. And it was that volunteer experience. She said, you came home from that and said, Mom, I'm going to be a physical therapist. And I was 13 or 14 years old because I saw what different disciplines did in the care center, and I really liked the physical therapist and their interaction with patients. And I've had such a wonderful career, 42 years of being able to go into people's homes and become part of their family and help them age gratefully.
So I want to pick up on that. So you've been in people's homes for the last 25 plus years. When you're there doing the physical therapy and maybe yoga and all that stuff, you talk to your patients, right? And they must have so much wisdom and reflection on their long-lived lives. So, what do you glean from that as you experience all these different conversations and relationships that you have with all your patients over time?
I think the thing I've taken away is to stay engaged in life, whatever that means to you, because it's different for different people, but not to let, whether physically you have a disability that is not letting you garden anymore, but then find something else that you enjoy so that you can stay engaged. That's what I've learned from my patients.
Two more things for you. One thing you said about yoga, which was interesting to me. You said that people go to yoga, they start yoga because it gives them better balance and flexibility. But the reason why people stay with yoga is for the meditation and the self-reflection that it offers. So it goes from filling a physical need to a more spiritual need.
Absolutely. The yoga center where I practice had a little raffle, and that was the question. Why did you start yoga? Blank. Why do you stay? And over again, that's what participants said, that it was that mind-body connection that made them a lasting participant in yoga.
And as far as gratitude, aging gratefully is concerned, you're a big proponent of journaling. Maybe writing down, 2 or 3 things at the end of the night that you're thankful for.
Yes, that was, during the pandemic, it was a really tough time in healthcare because we never stopped, right? Whether you worked in the hospital or whether you worked in the home, we kept going. And we really focused on our staff's resilience. How do we focus on self-care so that we can continue to take care of others? And the 3 good things was something we focused on, so that at the end of your day, that you write down 3 things that you're thankful for that happened that day. It could be a person, it could be an experience, it could be something you ate, a bird you saw, and that should be the last thoughts before you drift off to sleep.
Sounds good. One final note. You mentioned I mentioned the memory care program that you're a part of. This is personal for you because your dad had dementia and the family members had no idea what that journey was going to be like for everybody involved. So can you just talk about that for a moment and what you may advise someone in that situation?
Sure. When my dad was 82 and he was diagnosed with vascular dementia, and I was in the car with my mom. My dad was riding with my brother, and my mom looked at me and said, "Thank heavens he doesn't have Alzheimer's." And so it was very clear to me right then that she didn't understand that we were on the same journey. The reason we were on that journey didn't really matter which type of dementia he had, that we were in store. And I found that my dad looked pretty good for years, and he could cover socially pretty well, but his mind wasn't there. And he knew us, which was a blessing. But they expected him to be able to do a whole lot more than he was able to do. And one of the tests that he took, the psychiatrist gave him a circle and asked him to put the numbers on the clock. And he started at 12, and he went around till he got to 6, and then the numbers went straight down off the page. And that really, I took that home and showed my brothers the extent of his disease. And it really, I'm from Richmond, Virginia, and I would love to have been able to have the memory care service that we have at Hopkins. It's founded in research, and it's really helpful to families to navigate that.
Suzanne Havrilla from the Johns Hopkins Home-Based Division, thank you so much. Really, really nice.